Let's revisit a story involving Tuskegee University head basketball coach Benjy Taylor in February of 2026. Taylor had a back and forth with local police about what went down during his team's post-game handshake with host Morehouse. You can see this officer in frame reach for his cuffs, which are stationed on the backside of his waist, grab Taylor's arms, put it behind the coach's back, and cuff him, with players, parents, and fans looking on. Jeff Goodman posted this video of the handshake, writing, Benjy Taylor said that a group of football players from Morehouse had been vocal all game from their seats next to his team's bench. He went to the end of the handshake line after the game, and some of the football players were behind him in line or around the line. He tried to defuse it. He asked a cop for help to remove the players. The next thing he knew, he was cuffed. He said that the cuffs were removed quickly by the police when he left the court. HBCU Game Day would print, according to Tuskegee officials, players from Morehouse's football team entered the court and intermingled with the basketball teams. That interaction raised safety concerns during an already tense rivalry environment. Thus, Benjy Taylor hired legal representation following the bizarre incident at the game. Renowned civil rights attorney Harry Daniels is going to work alongside Gregory Reynald Williams and Gerald Griggs to rep him. Daniels would add, it would be bad for a cop to treat anyone like this, but to do it to a man like Coach Benjy Taylor, a highly respected pro and role model, to put him in handcuffs, humiliate him, and treat him like a criminal in front of his team, his family, and a gym full of fans is disgusting, and they need to be held accountable. Coach Taylor is a good man who did the right thing to protect his team and de-escalate a dangerous sitch. And this officer put him in chains for his troubles. Alas, with all that being said, here is the update. Spectrum News 1 would go on to report, Taylor has indeed filed a suit against 2 campus cops, along with Morehouse claiming he has suffered physical and emotional harm. Daniels stated he has suffered financial harm, reputational harm, emotional harm, as well as physical damages. He is seeking currently $1 million in damages.
Tuskegee's head basketball coach Benjy Taylor is suing Morehouse College and 2 campus police officers. Earlier this year, Taylor was escorted off the court by campus police after their loss to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. Videos capturing the incident circulated all over social media. Taylor is represented by a team of well-known civil rights attorneys like Harry Daniels, Gerald Griggs, Gregory Williams, and John Burris. Burris' list of clients includes Rodney King, Tupac Shakur, and the family of Oscar Grant. I talked to Gerald Griggs about Taylor's case earlier this year.
We can think of no justification by law enforcement to put him in handcuffs. We've seen the response from the conference. We've seen the response from Tuskegee. We saw that he was not arrested, so there's obviously nothing that could have been said that could necessitate them doing that to him.
Taylor says he approached the officer asking him to remove Morehouse football players who had gotten on the court in the handshake line after the game. He said the football players had been yelling obscenities during the game, and their being on the court was a security breach. Tuskegee has released a statement in support of Taylor, and the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference fined Morehouse for the security failure. Taylor and his legal team is hosting a press conference Friday to address the lawsuit. This news comes a couple weeks after Taylor was named the SIAC Coach of the Year, and Tuskegee men's basketball team lost to Morehouse in the SIAC championship.
Via NBC, Taylor, who was not charged with a crime, said in the suit, which I'll read in a moment, he was cuffed by Morehouse campus cops and marched off the court of Forbes Arena on January 31st of 2026 as if he were the most wanted individual in America. There is more. Taylor, who is 58 years of age, said at a presser announcing the suit that he feared he won't be remembered for the years he devoted in college basketball and with his teams. Quote, that's my life's work. I won't be remembered for that. I'll be remembered for this. From a mentally, emotional, physical standpoint, this has been one of the roughest things I've ever had to go through. I lost 11 pounds. I can't sleep more than 2 or 3 hours without assistance. So why exactly did all of this happen in the first place? Myron Metcalf, printed for ESPN, Taylor asked a school police officer identified in the suit as R. Clark to remove Morehouse football players who'd allegedly harassed and sworn at Tuskegee players and staffers throughout the game. Taylor would claim in the suit that he again asked Clark to intervene when those players ran onto the court during the post-game handshake lines. He was then placed in cuffs and escorted off the floor by R. Clark. The lawsuit would continue. During the ceremonial handshake that followed the game between the two teams, Coach Taylor made a request to Officer Clark to remove unauthorized students from the ceremonial handshake line. In response, Clark chose not to ensure the safety of the student athletes, coaches, and staff of Tuskegee University. This suit, by the way, per ESPN, was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Georgia Atlanta Division. It continues. Instead, Officer Clark cuffed Taylor in front of thousands of onlookers, including the coach's family, and escorted him from the vicinity as if he were the most wanted individual in America. Here's what I say to all of this. We have seen so many different cases, and we have outlined them here, of police intentionally abusing your rights and or not even knowing them. On top of this, we have covered so many different clips, and you could check them out on demand, of the brutalization put forth by law enforcement, whether local or federal. And they will continue doing this over and over again. Do you really think, let's just be as objective as possible as we always are, do you think that this man, who is a head coach at a Division I university, at an HBCU, should get placed in handcuffs at his place of work because he saw a wrong, tried intervening with not even being physical, not being violent, alerting the authorities, alerting those with a badge in the gymnasium, and instead of what they should have done in handling this entire fiasco, they decide to make a mockery of this man. They decide to make him feel lesser. They want to make him feel small. And they put him in handcuffs in front of families, in front of his coaching staff, in front of his players, in front of the fans. And this was not a 10-second thing. We have shown videos in our first report on this that were publicly available in a Dropbox folder that we found of this cop in handcuffs while they are in the hallway right by the gymnasium. What were they thinking in this moment? Now, their argument will likely be de-escalation. And their argument will likely be that Benjy Taylor was out of line. No. I have seen way more grace afforded to a white person wielding a knife and charging at an officer who did not try and do anything to defuse the situation. And many more. So I'll keep you updated on this, but I think that he has a strong case. And I truly do believe that he could potentially win. I really, really do. And for the cops involved, this is one where you go back to the drawing board and really try and think about how you could have handled this differently, because there will be plenty of people that will Monday morning quarterback it. The most important must be their superior, because this was just a failure on every single level. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.